When it's chilly outside, one of the things that always works best to warm you inside is soup. And our smoked broccoli cheddar soup will warm the cockles of your heart, whatever those are. Cockles of your heart. Is that even a... Hey Siri, what are cockles of your heart? The cockles of the heart are its ventricles. Well, that's stupid and gross.
Where did you hear that?
I don't know. Warm the cockles of your heart. It's an expression. Hey Siri, is warm the cockles of your heart an expression? Yes, Max, it is, and quit f***ing doubting your father. So now we all know. This will not just warm the cockles of your heart, but you're gonna like it. And we're gonna make, which we're gonna start off with, a like 5-ingredient beer bread. Because when you have soup, you just don't want to do this. You want to do this and then this. And it all starts here. We begin in our big bowl with 3 cups of self-rising flour. That's important, very important. Follow it up with a couple tablespoons of sugar, 1 tablespoon of baking powder, put about a half a tablespoon of garlic powder in this, some diced green onions, and then we want to give it some cheese. In keeping with our smoked theme, I've got a block of white smoked cheddar with black pepper, and it smells insane. That's gonna work. Now you would imagine we need some liquid, and here's what it is. It's a can of beer. Remember, this is a beer bread. So this will go in. Oh, what the hell. It's gonna foam, then that'll subside as we start to mix. And that we will do. You just want everything to come together in one beautiful combo. I know it doesn't look that beautiful, but it's gonna taste beautiful. Okay, that's done. This is a 9x5 baking pan, bread pan, whatever you, what's it called? What is this? It's a 9x5 pan, that's what it is. 2 things before the dough goes in. One will be a quick spray. And then I like a piece of parchment because it'll help get the bread out when it's cooked. And in goes our dough, backwards, for Max's benefit. And I know he always says it's for your benefit, but I know what's going on here. So spread this guy down as flat as best you can. Look, at the very least, this is gonna end up being a rugged looking loaf, but still an easy, damn good one. And when it's relatively flattened out on top, ready for the oven. And by the way, don't forget about the knives. We're giving one away every video this year. Just pay attention for your name. This is going into a 350-degree oven for 40 to 45 minutes. There's one quick step after that, but in the meantime, we start our smoking broccoli, because we have to. Time to prep our broccoli. So a big head of broccoli. It's called a crown. And now all we want are the florets. So you're gonna do this, cut these guys off, and then you can make them that size if you want. We're gonna end up pureeing this after, so they don't have to be perfectly even. Save the stalks for something else. We only want the florets for this. So continue till this is all done. And when everybody's cut, they get a little squish of oil, some salt and pepper, and we mix it. Then onto a baking rack. I like the rack because it'll let the smoke get all the way around and underneath and beside and inside out and the whole thing. Beautiful. This will take over to the smoker and in we go. Set her down and done. Smoker's at 325. We want to leave the broccoli in there until it's soft enough that we can do this with a knife. Well, you can always do this with a knife, but you want it to be able to go in. That's the key, and then we'll take it off. In the meantime, we can start cooking some onion and garlic and, you know, that kind of business. Broccoli's ready, and after 40 minutes, there's our bread. Looking lovely, but we're gonna do this. We're gonna take some butter and brush the top. This kid's gonna go back into the oven for another, 5-6 minutes to get, what's the word? Oh, I know, better. First thing in our pot, a little splash of oil and 1 onion diced. Ooh, that's hot. We just want that to soften, and at this heat, it's only gonna take a couple minutes. Next in, a couple tablespoons of garlic paste, or I'd say 4 big cloves, and 1 carrot shredded. Mix away. And when it smells fantastic, give it, I don't know, about 3 tablespoons of vermouth. Stir away and let that burn off. Next in, remember this guy? In goes our broccoli. I've saved a handful of pieces to mix in at the end, but for now, these go in, followed by a chicken broth, or vegetable broth if you want to keep this a veggie dish. Bring this to a little bubble, and once boiling, get it to a simmer, leave it for 10 minutes to simmer away. And while the soup simmers, let's look at our bread, which is pretty beautiful considering how easy it was. And that's why you use the parchment, so you can do that. Wow. I mean, I should really have it on here to cool properly, but should we just come in here and have one little slice? Look at this bread. Look what we made. It's beautiful, but more important than how it looks. I'll be honest right now, and I'm sure it's not being represented to your ears as it is to ours, but what's going on over there right now? Kids are off school today because it's Martin Luther King Day. I think if Martin Luther King was here, he's all about getting along, but he'd have something to say about that. Meanwhile, that's a good hearty, you know how good this is gonna be in that soup, which we're now gonna finish off. All right, at this point, it's time to turn this into a soup because right now, what is it, Chance?
Just a bunch of vegetables.
Just a bunch of vegetables, that's right. So kill the heat, you can actually take that off. We're gonna blend it, but before we do, we're gonna add a couple things. One will be a little smoked paprika. It was about a teaspoon, but the same of curry powder. So give this a really nice little touch. I'm a fan of putting mustard in this, so this is a tablespoon of grainy mustard. We give it just a quick little 1, 2, 3 around the edges. Then we come in with the big guns. That would be our stick blender. Let me get you, I'll get you. In we go. You can make this as chunky, as not chunky as you want. I like it medium-ish. I don't want big pieces for sure. Throw a little salt and pepper in, a little hit of our BFF. Of course, you could do this in a blender, but let me tell you something. When this is all over, doing this and cleaning this one part of the gadget is a lot easier than a blender or processor. And when it's where you want it, we're back on the heat to add 2 more things. We're on very low heat and we're gonna grate in 2 cups of sharp cheddar. If you can hear me over the screaming, a little at a time. Oh man, that one kid, that one kid. And then stir away. Because if you try to fling 2 cups of cheese in here at once, you're just gonna get one giant clumped ball of awfulness. So stir in between each addition. We're adding, we're stirring, we're adding, we're stirring. This is gonna be the best soup ever. One last thing. I'm gonna give this about a half a cup of heavy cream, bring this to a simmer, and let it go on a very low simmer about 10 minutes. And look how pretty that is. And after 10 minutes, this is ready to be bowled, put in a bowl, and in we go. That's the thickness you want, or that I want. Now remember, I saved back a little bit of the broccoli and just shaved off a little bit of the end. So you can do this. And then the only other thing I think it needs, a little fresh black pepper, like that. Boom! And wait for it, hello little bread, hello little beer bread with some butter. Now you're talking. I'm gonna be honest, if this is not the best looking broccoli cheddar soup, I don't know what is. And it's smoked and then pureed. So it's this gorgeous texture. The little bits of this crispy smoked broccoli on top. Oh my God. Come on, let's go. You absolutely get the smokiness. And I meant to say this. If you don't have a smoker, no problem. Just do it in the oven. You'll be fine. So good. But I dreamt about this. In with some soup for a bite. Now I'm happy. Recipes below. I hope you make it. I really want you to make it. I'd also like you to hit the subscribe button because remember, if you're not a subscriber, you have no chance of winning one of those knives given away every video this year. And a like would be good, and let us know what you want us to make because if it's like this, we're so happy to cook for you.